Welcome to Ranting and Raving. This is this is part of why this channel exists. Sometimes I'm gonna want to talk Saints football, sometimes I want to talk sports in general, sometimes I just want to talk nerdy shit I'm really into, and sometimes I just want to go off about shit that's really fucking stupid. And it doesn't necessarily mean that there was anything that particularly triggered this. It's just something that I think is fucking stupid and I want to talk about it. So I'm gonna talk about it. And today's topic is two things that are somewhat connected to each other that are really fucking stupid. And it's this idea. Number one, this stupid concept of nerdy shit and jock shit. And this is, thank God. I'm in my early 30s. This crap was kind of on its way out, as I was going through school, and it's mostly on its way out now, but it's still around, and you get a lot of it from the old guard. So that's going to be topic one, and topic two, and this is I'm a big word guy. I'm a big terminology. Use the correct language. Um, there's only a couple of bad words in all of existence, and then there's just a lot of words that people use badly. Um, and here's two of them. I'm gonna fucking cock slap the next single brain cell dipshit that fucking talks about alpha mentality. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk alpha and betas today. It's moronic, and we're gonna start a discussion. But that's topic two. So topic one. Um, yeah, this the nerd and jock shit. Like I said, it's on its way out. I'm glad it's dying. I'm just using that one as an example. You can pick your fucking subgroup, emos, goths, pick anything that had a label when you were in high school. They're all stupid, and they all need to go. And this particular one, I'm a living example of this. I played basketball in high school. I did a light level of MMA for 2 years before I stupidly fucked my back, being a complete idiot and overtraining and not listening to anybody because I thought I was fucking Superman. Not the first person to do that, won't be the last. Complete idiot. Wasn't gonna make a career of it, but I played a lot of sports. I didn't play football, but I wrestled a little bit, played baseball. Um, did them all. I was big into sports. I also I went into the anime club in high school. I play JRPGs. I read fantasy books. I've done LARPing a couple of times. Not really my thing, but I've done it. It's kind of fun. Dungeons and Dragons. Um, like you name it, it's nerdy. Like Comic Cons, conventions. Like the only reason I don't cosplay is because I'm broke and I'm lazy. I don't. I make lame costumes for Halloween. I don't. I definitely not going to put in the effort to like make something as dope as some of the stuff you see at some of those conventions. Like some of these people go all in. It's fucking impressive. Um, but at the end of the day, and I'm just using myself as an example for this. I'm not alone. There's millions of people like me. Be eclectic. If you're into it, if you're interested in it, and you have passion for it, go for it. Because here's a fun fucking fact. And especially this is mostly for the old heads, but there are absolutely younger people that still fall into this dumbass bullshit too. Here's just the reality. If you're into something and you're passionate about it, you're a nerd for it. Guess what? People who start football or baseball or basketball or hockey podcasts to talk about their favorite sport, you're a nerd for that sport. People like me who can recite tons and tons and tons of different stats about a bunch of different things for their favorite sport, guess what? Nerd. It's a very stupid, antiquated, useless term. Same thing as jock. Like it's just another way to go like, oh, this is the cool kids. And again, this is I'm just using these two as the example. Oh, they're the emo kids, they're the goth kids, they're the outcasts, they're this. Look, humans we are a herd animal. We're always going to try to categorize things into us and them. I understand that labels are always going to exist. We're very tribal. We're always going to be very tribal. But some of this shit is just stupid. And the really stupid part, it's not having the label. It's the value our judgments that we make attached to the label that are just really, really dumb. Like, oh, this guy's a, this guy's a nerd. He's lame. He ain't gonna get no pussy. Really? Well, you might want to check the Forbes list because there's a lot more nerds on there than there are cool kids. That's just a fact. And you know what'll help you bring in some pussy? A Lamborghini, or pick your nice car, or 3 houses, or owning your own business, or just not being a douchebag, which actually is probably the best way. Like, we're being real and take all the stereotypical shit out of it. Don't be a douchebag, be interesting, and you'll be amazed at all of a sudden how many more conversations you have. Like, does being rich or successful or 6'2" with abs and yeah, sure, there's shit that helps. Same thing goes for women being tall or beautiful, or conventionally beautiful, because there's a lot of different people have different aesthetics that they find attractive. Tom Brady people find Gisele Bundchen attractive. I don't see it, but yeah, it's just it's there. That's all fine. You can go, I like this, I like that, they like this, they like that, I'm into this, that makes me this. Great, cool. But putting value judgments on it is just stupid. It doesn't mean anything. You have an interest in something. You don't have an interest in other things. It's like here's a great. It's like people actually dividing themselves, making value judgments about other people on who does and doesn't like pineapple on pizza. Which, by the way, if you like pineapple on pizza, you're wrong. Like, it's okay. You're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. You just have to accept that you're wrong, internalize it, and move on. I'm being somewhat sarcastic about that, but not really. You're just fucking wrong. It's gross. Get that. I love pineapple. Get that slimy shit off my pizza. But yeah, it's the same thing. Oh, this guy's really into math and science. This guy's really into engineering, or this guy's really into anime, or this guy's really into pick your thing. And again, same thing for girls. And it happens. It happens for girls too. Oh, this, she's a tom girl. She's a cheerleader. She's into this. She's into that. Oh, this girl is perfectly comfortable with her sexuality and likes to explore it the same way young men do. Oh, she's a hoe. Oh, no, she's like, okay, was she accepting legal tender for services? Okay, then hoe. There's male hoes out there too. Like, there's sugar mamas, and if you have a sugar mama, you a hoe. Like, okay, if the label fits, if it's an accurate representation of you, okay, but it's still not a value thing. It's stupid. I just wish it would go the fuck away. It's obnoxious. Like, it's like using tags in a search if you're on a website. Pick your website type. You're on a sports website. I'm looking for players. I want to filter this by tight ends. Okay, this player's a tight end. Great. I looked at tight ends. Is there any special value to being the tight end? No, it means you have a tight end skill set. You played tight end. You got paid for tight end. I'm looking for tight ends. You're a tight end. Great. Like, I really just wish all of this tagging shit. Like, again, I'm not saying it. We're a tribal species. We're always going to be this way. We're always going to label ourselves for this shit. It's always going to happen. So I don't have a problem with the labels existing, but it's really stupid how we make inconsequential shit so tribal, and yet we marginalize things that are consequential, and we just, oh, well, that's just their opinion. No, that shit actually impacts people's lives. Political affiliation, not just by party, I'm red, you're blue. Ah, yeah, let's treat politics like sports teams. That hasn't been the downfall of multiple empires. Read a fucking history book. That'll be a different video. Trust me, we're gonna go into that shit, but that'll be a different video. But yeah, like, it's stupid there, because there's real world consequences. Guess what? There's no real world consequences to if you're a Saints fan or a Falcons fan. Okay, there's a little bit of a real world consequence. If you're a Falcon fan, you probably suffer from mild depression because that team are serial disappointments. And that's coming from a Saints fan. We had 4 years in a row where we had, like, heartbreaking losses in the playoffs. But the key word here is playoffs. And on one of them, we got hosed. The league made a decision. So, lick me from crack a sack and kiss my ass, get the fuck out of here. But it's just dumb. It's dumb that we put value judgments on it. It's dumb that we use it as a way to decide who we want to hang out with, who's cool, who's not cool, who's worth being with us. And this shit, like elementary school, middle school, when your brain isn't fully developed, when you're just developed, when you're at your most tribal in a lot of ways, children are. Okay, like it's always gonna be there. Like you can tell them not to do it, but kids are always gonna find a way to do it. But by the time you're at the end of high school, you're getting into college, you're entering the workforce, like just hang out with people that have similar interests. And if people, even people who don't have similar interests, you can hang out with them if you have similar personalities. Like find the things that make you similar that you can agree on instead of just separating and dividing yourselves about the shit that is different, because it's fucking stupid. And guess what? Number one, you miss out on a lot of really cool people. There's a lot of great people out there that you don't get to interact with because you have these preconceived notions of who and what they are, and that can be from a lot of things. Especially in the workplace. I've seen this. I'm just using this as an example. It's anecdotal because I've personally witnessed it, but I'm using this as an example. I have seen black coworkers not get invited out to, out to like, dinner parties or luncheons or things like that, or people not include them in conversations, not because they have an issue with black people, because they assume that the black guy that they work with, or black woman, doesn't have any of the same interests as them, that they're different, that they're ghetto, or just a bunch of dumb assumptions. And then 6 months in, a year in, you find out you have an absurd number of things in common with this person, and you missed out on a year of interactions with an awesome human being because they had dreadlocks or cornrows or whatever visual cue you use to decide this is what this person is, or because they have a slightly different accent than you. And the same thing happens with Southern people. Oh, they have a Southern drawl. They're dumb. Well, actually, no. Accent doesn't mean crap. You know, I have friends and even family members who have Asian accents, because obviously they're Asian, who not great at math. Because guess what? Accents don't mean shit. An accent literally just means when I was learning to speak this language, or when I learned to speak my primary language, it was spoken like this, and so the muscle memory that allows me to speak causes me to produce these sounds in this way. That's all it fucking is. That's all an accent is. Like I'm around people that say A like A, so I say it like A. If I go somewhere else and I interact with those people a lot and they say it differently, I will start to say it differently. It's not that hard to figure out. It's stupid. Dumb, 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 dumb. Very fucking dumb. So that's rant 1. Now it's time for rant 2. So let's talk about one of my personal favorite pet peeve, almost a guarantee for me that you're a fucking moron when I hear this phrase. If I hear this phrase, I am now operating under the assumption that you're a complete fucking idiot. You have no idea how anything works, but you really desperately want to feel smart. You want to feel enlightened. You want people to think you know what you're talking about. The phrase is alpha mentality. So let's attack this in 2 parts. Part number 1. What is alpha mentality generally associated with? I use generally because, of course, again, anecdotal versus, universal, they're not the same thing. But generally speaking, when you encounter people who talk about alpha mentality, it's usually toxic douchebags who are using alpha mentality to justify self-serving, selfish behavior that usually involves the inconveniencing or outright verbal or otherwise assaulting and denigrating of others for your own personal betterment. Or, in short terms, being a douchebag. Alpha mentality is just, oh, you gotta have that alpha mentality, man. You just gotta go for it, 100%, 1,000 miles an hour. Fuck everybody else. Everything is about you. You're a douche. Doesn't, and by the way, being a douchebag doesn't mean you won't be successful by being a douchebag. There's lots of very successful douchebags. That doesn't make you not a douchebag. If you're fine with being a douchebag and it helps you get what you want, okay. But just understand that does make you a douchebag. Like, and then there's, then there's some people like, oh, well, alpha mentality, or, they confuse mamba mentality, which is another thing that gets misquoted, but it kind of comes from the same, place, which is this misunderstanding and misrepresentation of psychology and sociology, and yes, they are different things, connected but different. And just the human condition in general. It's this motivational speaker, self-help, guru bullshit. And does some of that stuff have a place? Yes, it does. Does the idea of self-actualization work? Thinking positive thoughts, I will do this, I will succeed. Yes, and it's not because of some mystic energy you're speaking up into the universe. It's because luck is it's opportunity meeting preparation. And preparation doesn't necessarily mean physical preparation. It can also mean mental preparation. If you are mentally ready, willing, and able to see and then seize opportunities, you're more likely to take advantage of it. You're more likely to have the success you want. And putting yourself in that type of mentality, it's a form of self-hypnosis. And it's very effective. It's a real thing. But alpha mentality isn't a real thing. So now let's talk about the second part of this. And this is a huge part of why this annoys the fuck out of me to a degree. And there's going to be a video on all the things that annoy me. You'll probably get watched by 2 people, and I'm fine with that. But here's an example of one of the things that annoys the fuck out of me. In a similar way, other than, again, a lot of the alpha mentality shit is just toxic douchebags trying to encourage other people to be self-serving toxic douchebags. And then thinking like, oh yeah, no, that's awesome, but don't want to acknowledge that they're being a toxic douchebag. Which again, hey, if you're cool with that, that's fine. It's actually not, you're a toxic douchebag, but like, just acknowledge this is what it is. Don't try to make it this grand thing, because you're misusing a term. You're using it completely incorrectly. You have this misconception of what an alpha is, because it's the alpha. Lions don't go herd with sheep. It's the same thing where those expressions come from. It's the exact same birthplace. You're projecting, and you're trying to create this identity for yourself that you're this better being, this alpha. And what they try to do is they try to make it a mentality thing. Well, I'm better. I'm successful because I have this alpha mentality. I just go for it. Okay. One, you do that because you don't want to acknowledge that a huge part of anyone's success is based on luck. You went to the right interview, you got on the right day, you met the right person, you were born in the right place, you had the right degree, you went to the right school, you wore the right tie that day. There are so many millions of variables that can tweak the odds of success of whatever you're trying to do, that have nothing to do with your own efforts or talent. They're circumstantial. And people don't like not having control. They want to believe that if you've got this alpha mentality and you've got this drive and you just go for it, that all success is only because of you and nothing because of circumstance. There is an element of the insecurity and the inability to acknowledge the greater universe around you, and the existence of good luck in general. There's an element to that, but again, the greater part of this is it's misuse of language and misunderstanding things, and it's really wanting to you want to tie something positive to negative traits and negative behaviors. And so they latch onto this idea of an alpha because there's wolf packs. I think there's actually a study of this. Rudolf Schenkel. I suck with names. You guys can Google it. It's where a source a lot of this comes from. The idea of alphas and betas, especially as it attributes to wolf packs. And the idea is that, there's the alpha, and what are these alpha behaviors? What does the alpha do? What's this alpha mentality? That's where a lot of this comes from. And then, of course, society and culture gets its hands on it, and it gets dumbed down and bastardized and taken in a bunch of different directions. We end up with the stupidity we have now. But here's the reality: in the animal kingdom, there's no such thing as alpha mentality. You ever go ahead and Google, if you haven't seen this, go ahead and Google an alpha kangaroo. I'm just going to use one example for this. I'm not going to use 50. Google an alpha kangaroo. Then Google male kangaroo. Look for the difference. Now, some of those male kangaroos you're going to see look like the alpha. That's because they're alphas. A lot of the kangaroos do not look like the alpha. They look very different. Why do they look different? Well, because this one is an alpha. It is the prime of its species. It is born better. It's different. Bigger, stronger, faster, smarter, and depending on species. With wolves, definitely. The wolves are, very, very intelligent. Is the alpha typically going to be one of the smarter members of the pack? Yes. Are they going to be bigger? Typically, yes. Are they going to be faster, stronger, meaner, more aggressive, more dominating? Yes. But the behavioral components you're observing are a result of the physiological attributes that the alpha has. It's not a mentality, it's acting upon the reality of its existence. It's bigger, stronger, faster. It's leading the pack, and so it exhibits pack leading behaviors. If the smallest wolf in the pack starts exhibiting alpha behaviors, the smallest wolf in the pack is fucking dead. Or close enough to it. Kicked out of the pack, dead. That's the difference. That's your alpha mentality. Here's the real alpha mentality. The real alpha mentality is simply this: maximize your personal gifts and attributes to the best of your ability towards the goals that you have. There's your alpha mentality. It's not being a dickhead. It's not walking around like you're King Dingling and you're the best thing on earth. It's not being overly aggressive. It's not being excessively selfish. It's not any of these things that are behaviors that typically get associated with either the words alpha mentality or exhibited by the dipshits who tend to use the term a lot. Your alpha mentality is simply being an alpha, because that's all an alpha does. It's just being itself. And as far as cultural terms, like we love to throw this term beta around. Oh, that's a beta. You a beta bitch. That's a beta male. It doesn't mean anything. Again, you're using terms you don't understand. You're using them very incorrectly. It's like calling food organic. All food is made of organic compounds. All food is fucking organic. You mean all natural or no pesticide. Calling food organic is retarded. And if you don't like me using that word, A, refer to Christopher Titus's genius fucking bit on it, and B, look it up in the dictionary. I use it correctly, and I fully agree with him. Use it about a disabled person, you're going to deal with me physically. That's fucked up, you're a piece of crap. But when something is brought to a lower level than what it is supposed to be at, it is by definition retarded. That is literally the definition of the term. And if you're using things like alpha mentality, beta male, organic to describe food, you are retarding yourself. You are poorly and incorrectly describing things that you do not understand, in a lot of cases to make yourself sound or feel more intelligent than you clearly are. Intelligent and knowledgeable in this particular case, I'm using interchangeably. Fuck off. That's where it is. These are giant pet peeves for me. I have a million of them. There will be more videos about this. Anybody who watched up to this point, I appreciate you. If you don't agree with what I said, if you don't like what I said, or if you do like what I said, feel free to hop in the comments. I will respond. Always appreciate subscriptions. More content will be coming. So, some videos are going to be like this. Some videos are just going to be me going off about stuff, and you now get to know what it feels like to be my friends and family. Some of these are going to be educational. I do have a degree in political science. We are going to talk politics. There's going to be some real fucking conversations here where I'm going to talk about shit that is empirical and factual, and I'm not just yelling at the clouds because I'm mad about things and I feel like sharing them with the world. This one isn't completely one of those videos, although the alpha beta part really is. Like, seriously, stop using the fucking term. Stop using them incorrectly. You're idiots. You sound like idiots. You look like idiots. You're fucking idiots. I don't use them. There's plenty of things I say that make me look like an idiot, and I do it too, but this ain't one of them. It's obnoxious. Stop it. And really, just in general, stop labeling people and then acting like your labels mean anything. It's like they like pineapple on pizza. Okay? Who gives a shit? You don't like pineapple on pizza? Great. Don't order pineapple on pizza. You don't like emo music? You don't like wearing black and leather? You don't like anime? You don't like video games? You don't like, hell, flip on the other side. You don't like, as my boss at work calls it, sports ball. Great. Don't watch it. But the fact that other people do doesn't mean anything. They enjoy what they enjoy. Let them enjoy it. Enjoy what you enjoy. And if you guys can find something to enjoy together, great. Why can't we be friends? Don't worry, I won't be doing much singing. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been Ranting and Raving. This is Brian, and I'm out.